Subjunctives intimidate a lot of people, but they don't have to. Subjunctives are actually not that hard if you simply learn the most common ways to use them. We've already learned the present tense and the past tense of ser and estar. In each case, the scene was in a particular part of the business. So the present tense was in the main front area where people first arrive at the ser carnival or the estar magic shop. The past tense was in a closed-off area inside, the bouncy house in the case of ser, and the wand closet in the case of estar. We'll learn the subjunctive conjugations in a third place. These conjugations will take place in the backyard behind these businesses, a place we'll call the junk area. This is where people might throw trash, and the stressed syllable junk represents subjunctive. In the backyard of the ser carnival, a raccoon sits in a junk pile. It's eating something that looks like trash, and when it sees us arrive, it lifts whatever it is up, as if to offer it to us, and it shouts, "Say ah." It's pretty creepy, but this represents the word sea. The stress is on se, but it's pronounced like sea. So the words we're learning here are I sea, he, she, it, or usted sea, you seas, and they sean, and then we seamos. Now note that just like in the past tense, the first person, I be, and the third person, he, she, or it be, are exactly the same. They're both sea. Now what do these words mean? Again, we've already learned the present and the past tense, so why do we need another tense? These words mean something like be, as in I be, she be, you be, and they be. These words are used to express some sort of intention. Intention means that we want something to be the case. We're not necessarily saying that it is or isn't the case. We're expressing an intention that it be the case. We actually use the subjunctive mood in English as well, but not as often in modern English as we used to use it, and not nearly as often as it happens in Spanish. But check out this sentence. I recommend that you be his friend. I recommend que seas his friend. So we don't usually say, I recommend that you are his friend. We say, I recommend that you be his friend. So whether or not you're currently his friend, I do recommend that you be his friend. This sentence structure doesn't happen much in English except in the case of the word recommend. But in Spanish, it happens pretty much any time that you're indicating someone's intention for another person. So here's another example. I hope that she be our friend. I hope que sea our friend. In this case, we would simply use the standard, I hope that she is our friend in English. But in Spanish, we have the verb hope indicating some sort of intention. So the second sentence, or the second clause here after the que, is going to be subjunctive. In a nutshell, there are some situations that typically trigger the subjunctive. And in general, you can expect this to happen anytime there are two clauses being connected by a que where there's an intention being expressed by the first clause about the second clause. So in this case, the first clause is I hope, which indicates intention, and the second clause, she be our friend, is what the intention is about. So that's where the subjunctive is going to be, in the second clause there. I'm about to list some sentences in English. See if you can predict whether the first verb is expressing intention and whether the second verb would therefore be in the subjunctive mood. First example, I think that they are my friends. So does the verb think here indicate intention? Not really. It's more like whether or not it's the case. This is what I think is the case. So this is just I think que son my friends. How about I recommend that you be his teacher? Recommend is clearly indicating an intention, and so after the que, we have to say seas. I recommend que seas his teacher. Here's a tricky one. I ask that she be my friend. The ask here indicates an intention, so this is I ask que sea my friend. You see that he is not your student. The see here is not an intention, it's just an observation. So this is simply, you see que no es your student. They intend that we be students. This is clearly an intention. They intend que seamos students. He hopes that she is the winner. He hopes que she sea the winner. This will become more natural over time, and if you're not getting this perfect yet, that's okay. You'll do pretty well if you just remember that hope and recommend trigger the subjunctive.